Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. We have a very special live stream for you guys. This is basically a live stream that me and Steve were putting together, thinking about a series called Beyond the Gig Apps. That's, I guess, the tentative name right now. Just talking about other types of ways of making money, independent contracting, true independent contracting. And this is really excited to have the CEO. We have a CEO on the live stream, guys. CEO, Dumpling, Joel Shapiro. First of all, thank you very much for giving us some of your time. I think this is a very exciting platform. We want to talk about it. So we really appreciate you coming by and giving us some of your time.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me.
And as you see, Steve, he has the full dumpling apparel on.
He looks good.
He looks good. Very excited. Always talking about dumpling in this podcast. I think I forgot what you want us to talk about, Steve. We talked about dumpling for probably half of that last podcast. So you're very excited about it. So, let's just get started. I know you got a limited time with Joel. So let's just get right into it.
Well, I mean, first of all, again, same as Hannibal. Thank you, Joel. I mean, I always love talking with Joel, even if it's on camera, off camera. You guys, he's just a down to earth guy, and he gets it. And the bottom line is that here before I even jump in at all, it's sad that more companies don't start this right now, because when Joel started it, these gig apps were paying much better. It made it made it a little more difficult to see, through the clouds and through the smoke to see dumpling. But now it should be more apparent. These companies, you don't have the next 20 years of your life covered working through these apps. They can earn you money. Don't jump off them. I'm not saying that. Keep earning on them. But Joel has created a way where you can literally be an independent contractor. We all are, but there's a fight in every state right now if you are or you're not. And so that's a big thing going around. On Joel's, there is none of that. And I want to start off with just two quick quotes from the Dumpling site. So Dumpling is the new ethical alternative to grocery app delivery app Instacart. Now, when do we hear the word ethical with any gig app at all? Never. No. I've never seen it in the same sentence.
No.
Here is from CNN Business: empowering gig workers as small business owners. Mm-hmm. Okay, when do we hear that about any gig app? Never, because they call us partners, but we're not. You don't see any article write it up that way, because they see through it. They see, well, you're not a partner. You're working these apps. So yes, you're independent. You're all of that. But I don't know. I think one of the best things about our first interview, Joel, was when you told it started really nicely when you just kind of told how Dumpling started. Can we start there a little bit and kind of what got us to got you to the place you did to not just start your everyday app, but do it differently?
Absolutely. And it's been a minute since that first time that we spoke 2
years.
On the podcast. It's pretty cool to see what you've done and how it's grown. So I'm a big fan. But yeah, so, when we first started Dumpling, we weren't doing grocery delivery. We weren't even doing gig work. We were trying to kind of use our background, my co-founders and I, to really just kind of build something that's going to help workers out there. And really, we saw a lot of technology. We saw a lot of companies that were being successful, really kind of just perpetuating kind of who's already successful, who's already doing things, and just kind of helping them even more. And there really wasn't a lot of technology and a lot of companies that were doing the opposite of helping kind of the rest of the 95% of people out there. And so where we first started was trying to give a voice to workers and really help level the playing field by giving people a place to anonymously share, hey, what's it like to work when I do kind of either hourly work or I'm in retail, and all the things that are on Glassdoor are so different, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, how many stock options do you get? And what do you think about the CEO? Are they good to you? And it's like, well, how about, are you getting constantly scheduled, just a few hours less of qualifying for benefits? Or are you getting the graveyard shift and the morning shift? Or are you getting, shuffled around from store to store? And so that's where we started. And we knew that people, and talking to them, and, this is retail workers, this was bus drivers, just kind of all these different things. was that they didn't feel like they had a voice, and they were really worried about retaliation if they spoke up. And so we created this kind of anonymous site for people to just share, and then also not just say, hey, this is what sucks, but also what's going good, and then allowing people to crowdsource kind of ideas to make it better and upvote and downvote. And so that's where we started, and really what kind of just jumped up and slapped us across the face, and that we weren't expecting at all, was thousands of gig workers. And this is back in 2016, early 2017, that started just sharing the most ridiculous stories about what it's like to work at Instacart, what it's like to be an Uber driver, how these things that were happening about, getting pay reduced and getting deactivated and all of this stuff. And so that was really where we were like, wow, this, there is a scary underbelly to the success of this gig economy. And for sure, it seems like it's always at the expense of the gig worker. And so that was kind of our first moment where we, started looking at a little bit more, what's it like to be a gig worker? It's great to get this amazing services that come, and it seems really affordable and cheap to get, but what's it like for the thousands or millions of people now that this entire economy is propped up on? And so we became Instacart shoppers, we became Uber drivers, Postmates, my partners and I, and it was just like the most eye-opening experience ever of just, this is ridiculous, and I'll just kind of flat out call it exploitation on a lot of things. And so, we really started, Hannibal, we were talking a little bit kind of before everything got kicked off.
Yeah.
About where we started and how we got going, and at first it was like, how do we shine a light on this? Like, man, if we show all of these people that are getting deactivated, or all of these people that are having to do basically kind of industrial work, and hundreds and thousands of pounds of stuff up flights of stairs, and maybe that'll change things. And so we would write articles, we would crowdsource, we'd talk to press, and nothing ever changed. It just didn't matter. And in fact, kind of the more we did pay trackers, because we saw that systematically prices were getting changed on people. A company would launch in a city, prices would be great. 3 months later, it'd start to go down. So we had pay trackers all over the country, but we quickly realized that's not going to change anything. But what came out of that, which was so nice, was we were working with just amazing people all over the country, incredibly talented, hardworking, intelligent people, and we got to just really know them and just be like, man, through all of these interactions, it's not the on-demand company, it's not the app that's doing all of this. The success of all of these companies is based on the workers that are doing it, and the experience that the customers have, with someone that's really taking their job seriously and doing a really good job, versus someone that just rolled out of bed and turned the app on and has no idea what they're doing, makes all the difference in the world. And yet it doesn't matter one bit with how you get paid, right? It's like, if you do a good job or you get a bad job, you're really just going to, get it no different. And so specifically within the grocery space, we start going, well, if shining a light's not going to do any different, then how do we actually then change kind of our mindset and really start thinking about, like, well, what can we help people build that just removes them completely from just dealing with this and being at the whim of a company that can change things. And so we got to know some just incredible people. We got to hear all the time, Matthew Tellis was one of the first people on the show that talked about dumpling, and you talk to him, and it's just like, and so many other people, and he does such a good job, and their customers are always like, how do I get you? Yeah, you are so amazing, and the 3 people I got before you weren't so much. It would be amazing to have you. And through talking to Matthew and so many other people, it became apparent that, man, they'd love to do it, but they just didn't have, like, there's so many things that you would need. And Hannibal, I loved the other day, I was listening to the show, and you called it a business in the box.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that go into starting a business. And whether it's, in shopping, it's like having the funds to front and maybe some protection from fraud if those things happen. But it's also about being able to like give your customers a place where they can place orders and have a good experience and be able to do payment processing. So that's really where we started. We said, well, what if we could actually help you say yes to those people that are saying, hey, how do I get you next time? Is there anything I can do? What would you need? And we started really early on because people would, tell us, hey, I can't front $300 for an order. And what if I get 5 orders this week?
Right.
So we started with a credit card. We started with just the most basic thing you could imagine for customers being able to just say, hey, you don't need the fanciest app in the world with the fanciest grocery list experience and all those things. You think about who you live with in your family, and you want to give a list to them and go to the store. You can communicate that pretty well by saying, hey, get these things, what's at the store. So it started pretty basic from there. And that's what we started doing. And I remember we were in some of those groups, and we just put some stuff out there saying, hey, we're going to do a beta. Is anyone interested? And I think within the first couple of hours, and we put a pretty long, I remember it was like a 45-minute type form survey. And we're like, it's probably not the best thing to do to make such a huge survey to have people do it. But we want people that are really interested and willing to kind of invest. And I think we had something like 500 applications. And it just showed us immediately the demand for something like this. And people just, I think, and Steve, you were saying 4 years ago, there wasn't nearly the awareness of kind of how much is out of your control and how much the tables can change. And yet there was still a lot of it. And so that's really where we started. And we started working with a handful of people. And really that's kind of just really grown from there. We've noticed at first it was all about a credit card, and it was all about, just being able to like kind of front the money. But very quickly we saw there's so many other aspects of it. There's the technical piece of it. There's the financial piece of it. But there's also just a huge kind of mental piece of it about, being excited. And, there's a lot of nerves about starting your own business. There's a lot of questions that you have. There's a lot of encouragement that people needed that have the capability, but maybe just, I don't know. And so, we've built an entire community and coaching and support team that
you have a university.
Yeah.
Joel has a university. Like what you guys, if you sign up for Dumpling, he has a university. Like there's classes. So yeah, you might look at it like I'm going to have to invest some time in that. Yeah. But guess what? When you start any business, you have to invest some time into it.
Yeah,
I mean,
most definitely.
The reason for the university, correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, but is to make sure that people come out of the gate and it works for them. Otherwise, they might launch it, come out of the gate and be like, I'm very confused.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some amazing people on our Dumpling team that have put a just ton of work into not only the subject matter that goes into Dumpling University, but also like the best practices of how do adults learn and digest on our mobile phones and not making things too complicated. And they've done just an incredible job building it out. But yeah, that's definitely the idea, is that it's really kind of a 360, like what are all the things you need? And there's some basics in there about just getting started of how to use the apps, and things are a little bit different. But really where we've invested the last year, and this is really just a huge testament to our coaching team and our entire support and operations team and coaching team. They all have come from the gig economy. So they all started, they were working Instacart, they were doing that. Then they found Dumpling, they built their own successful businesses. And they've also just been really successful in doing that and then helping others. So just where they're coming from, the way they speak, kind of the typical mindset of someone that might be coming from here, and how to change that and how to do that has all gone into, I think, building some really incredible content. And then really over the last year, we at first we were like, okay, you just need to know the basics of just how do the apps work? How do you do things? How do you invite clients? And now they've really focused more on like, how do you promote your business?
Yep.
How do you use social media to tap into your network? How do you actually use social media groups to find new customers? What are some things you can do to do additional services? And really just kind of teaching a little bit more about just running a business and kind of business 101 that's been really helpful.
I want to jump in real quick just to say thank you for DoorDash tips for the $5 super sticker. Van is amazing. I think he'll probably do great at this as well if he wanted to try dumpling, because he is a workaholic and he does a lot of good work. He can even provide some entertainment as he doing the grocery shopping. So I just want to kind of step back a little bit back on. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm intrigued by this idea. I'm an Instacart. I do Instacart or Shipped or one of those grocery shopping apps. I know there's limited. It's like limited potential, unlimited potential with the dumpling app,
Mhm.
but grocery shopping included. If I want to start, what's the steps for me? I sign up. What would be the onboarding process if I'm
Yeah.
interested in pursuing dumpling?
Absolutely. So basically, we have a kind of an onboarding experience that really is the goal is to just kind of get you started, to get everything set up so that you can go and shop. So the first thing you would do is when you sign up is you would go in and we would walk you through kind of the steps of getting your account set up. Some of it's just super basic from, hey, you got to get paid. So you need to set up a Stripe Connect account, and then we got to get you your credit card. And then it's, once you kind of get some of those basics so that you can go and shop and we can fund. But once you get past that, it's really like setting up the basics of your business. So, we do a couple of different things that we give people. So you have to market yourself. So we have a kind of a web page that they can configure and set up. And so that, it has your typical, bio and where you're working, zip codes and things like that. Obviously, we have a lot of tips about, and this is where our coaching and comes in about how do you talk about yourself? Is it, what's your experience? What makes you unique? Do you have experience in paleo diets? Do you have experience with dogs? Do you have experience with families with special needs?
Mm-hmm.
All of these things that help set you apart, because at the end of the day, our platform is to help people be successful and run their business. It really is about the person. And so what we really try to do is allow people to tell their story and to really kind of customize everything for them. So you have that profile that then shows up on your website, and you get a website that you can share and drive people to the app that way. And then at the same time, we have to talk about your services. So then how do you set up your services? What stores are you willing to shop at? What prices would you like to set up your stores for? So we have training on that and calculators so that you can start to say, okay, well, if I do this type of pricing and it's percentage based, and I typically buy $200 of groceries, how much do I earn at the end of the day? And we have kind of walk people through that. And it's really important to find the balancing of, you obviously want to make as much money as you can, and that's super important. At the same time, if you charge an insane amount, you'll probably get one order from a customer, but might not get the second order. And as
Yeah.
we all know, like finding that customer is really hard. It's really expensive. So what's that sweet spot there where every time you're going out the door, it's worth your while and you're getting paid. And at the same time, it's not so crazy that you're doing all this work to get one customer and then they're not coming back. So
Right.
what's that sweet spot? So we try to help people really kind of find what that optimal pricing is on that. And then there's some things too about, we want people to be able to shop where it makes sense for them. It's not very economical, especially today with gas prices, to have to go to a completely different city um, to do an order and drive around. So what zip codes do you want to deliver to? Also, we have the ability to set up all of your kind of delivery time zones. So specifically, you can make blocks and days and buffers and all types of things. So it's really kind of getting the basics there for that. And then once all of that's set up, then we encourage people to go do an order for a friend. Do an order for your spouse, your parents,
Smart.
your friend,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
got to know not only how to get the order and then actually go and fulfill it, but you should know what your customers are going to see. What's the experience when you send them a link and they download the app to get connected to your business? What's the experience when they're going through and building the list? So really, it's all about that first, I'd say, couple of days of getting set up, understanding the experience from both sides. And then once you're set up, I think we have a lot of different kind of suggestions on, hey, who are you could go out and I think a lot of people have a tendency to want to just go big
Yeah.
and say, I'm going to put this huge marketing campaign. I'm going to spend all this money. I'm going to go get posters. I'm going to do this. And really what we try to get people to do is kind of slow down a little bit and say, hey, let's just one step in front of the other.
Yeah.
Let's get that first order. Who are people in your network that you'd like to start with? Do you have customers that you're working with on on a consistent basis, whether it's in other apps, whether it's different things that would be kind of like, okay, I know if I talk to them, they're going to want to support me. Right. And so let's get that first order. And if you get that first order and you get that done, let's get them to write you a really good review. And then, so we really try to kind of build that in. And now some people come in and they're just guns blazing and they're off to the races anyways. But we try to kind of put some guardrails in and guide people on kind of just the basics first. And then as you're successful, if they ask, how do you talk to a customer about referrals? If they give you a good review and writing you a review, so kind of just try to take it step by step from there.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
I gotta say that, Joel, I've talked to some of the top shoppers on the platform. I've talked to Suze many times.
Yeah.
I've talked to
incredible.
I mean, all these guys. You already mentioned Matthew, and of course Celeste, and I mean, like, just so many good people who just crush it on this. And they've given me hints even, and this is without the dumpling that they learned from doing dumpling, that are amazing, that I've done a lot of business in my life that I might not have thought of, though. Like Celeste going to the Chamber of Commerce meetings. I mean, just things like this that that a lot of these gig workers might say, well, I'm not going to do that. Well, maybe you get, like you said, you get a few under your belt. And then I know from all of them that the best advertising you got is word of mouth. So you put a couple of good shops out there and you get a client, they could land you 10 more.
Yeah.
It really.
Sorry for interrupting, Steve, but the first question, there's a lot of good questions, actually. I don't know. I know you have limited on time, Joel, so just let us know. Yeah. Don't hesitate. But the question, is it just grocery? And the answer is no, it's not. It could be almost everything. In terms of dog walking. I mean, it's basically like a virtual storefront, if that makes sense, right? Like you have the profile, you have it's a human element, you're dealing with the person, and you decide what services you will provide. You have the card and the transactions and stuff like that go through the app as well. I mean,
you got it. Yeah.
I would say if I want to be a barber or something, I don't know. Like I'm just I don't know, that's the first thing that came in my head right now. I need to shape up. So like if I had to start that business where I can go to people's houses and cut hair, I have my storefront, I have what I have, my sales pitch, my profile, and I have the infrastructure of the app and the card and everything to kind of do what I need to do to have that business of being a barber, right?
Yeah, you got it. And right now today, there's the wrapper, right? So if you go to the app stores and you search for dumpling and you see it, it's definitely kind of grocery, and most of the app is tailored around grocery. So having said that, though, because it's based on a relationship, once people establish a relationship and trust, what we see is everything opens up. And even to the extent of, hey, it looks like a grocery app, but don't worry, I'm going to put in this other service and I'll, walk your dog for you when I come to the house. So we definitely, that's an area of the platform that we really want to build out to support so many business owners today that are doing things, far beyond grocery. There could be adjacent things that are like, hey, I'll put your groceries away for you when I'm at the house. There could be a little bit further adjacent, which is, hey, I'm at your house, I can put your groceries away from you. And by the way, you're at work and your dog's here, and go for a walk, take the dog for a walk. We see people do that a lot. Or it's, I'm driving in the car and I'm coming to your house anyways. So if you want me to pick something up at the dry cleaners for you or different things. So we see people doing like all over the place, from A to Z. The sweet spot today is definitely grocery. And we would love to open up the platform to support, I think, the very different things that a lot of shoppers and business owners are doing today.
Joel, you said that when you were talking about, go through your trials with the family and stuff, or a friend, and you were saying, pick your stores. I know a lot of the shoppers get requests for stores they don't even know about, like a specific meat store or and then you allow that too. So I mean, like, really, like, you could have 10 different stores you need somebody to go, and then that price is to be negotiated between you and them. It's your business, but you can hit all these places for them. Really, you could do all their errands even.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really where we're focused is, two things. Is one is like when we talked about is what's the I think the biggest difference that I would say in this world of kind of gig work that I would say about Dumpling versus most of the other companies is just the entire mentality of, hey, we are a tools provider for you to do your thing. And so what do you need? What support do you need? How do we help you do what you're already doing and what you're good at? And I think that's the first big difference. And then I think within that, though, is when you're when you are the person and you are the kind of the difference in selling of the business, you have all this knowledge. You know the local stores, you know what's going on. You might know that, hey, in this city, like this food in this restaurant's really good, or this restaurant's or this store's the best place to get fish. And so how do we build a first class experience where, you know, those are stores that you could never have the menu for, you could never have the prices. So how do we really allow people to showcase where they can shop and what, like, kind of the unique things they know about their neighborhood and their store, and let their customers really kind of build a list and just convey. I mean, at the end of the day, all they need to do is say, I want you to go here, I need you to get this. And because of the way it works is they're paying in store prices, and we try to be very transparent. And so I think one thing with the gig economy has been everything is a black box. It's what's going to Steve, what's going to the gig company, what's, you know,
right?
it doesn't make sense. So we, you know, when we were building this, we just said, hey, transparency has got to be a foundation of what we're doing. So I think key to that is you're going to go to the store, you're going to pay whatever the store is going to cost, and you're going to get the receipt. You're going to actually get the store receipt. And that means if there's, you know, BOGO offers or sales or different things, you're not locked into whatever the app said. You can trust your shopper is going to get you a good deal. And then you're going to know that, you know, the vast majority of our business owners today use a kind of a percentage-based pricing. So if it's $200 of purchases, then I'm going to get 15% on top of that, right? And so now they know, okay, this is going to my shopper. This is just going to the grocery store. We have a platform fee, which obviously allows us to be in business and hopefully be successful and be around for a while. And really the thing that we've tried to do is find what's the right balance. We're a company, we're investing and trying to be successful. But if we're taking too much of a cut, why would people stick around? And then we're going to spend all of our time on building walls of, oh, you better not go off platform, you better do this. So our thought really has been, you know, we got to let people set their own prices. We got to let like their customers know where that money's going. And then we have to find a sweet spot where we can be profitable, but where people find value in how we're helping them be their business and they're happy with it. You know, it's not so much that they're looking for other ways, and just be transparent with it.
Gotcha.
Before Hannibal jumps on this question too, people listen to what he's saying. Transparency. You set the prices. You set your prices. You can learn from the dumpling crew, but you decide what you're going to make. You're not letting these apps fool you anymore or whatever. But I just needed to mention that because I find that like I'll just say it real quick. One of the things I found really interesting, the very first time we did an interview 2 years ago, Joel, was when it was around Thanksgiving. And I was like, at the time there was a cap on the card or something. And I was like, well, what do people do if they get $1,000 Thanksgiving order? And I remember your answer just kind of blew my mind. You're like, you just call us and we'll just extend your limit. Right. I was like, dude, who does this? Who does this?
I got to say, like, take a moment just to shout out to our support and our SOS team, because they are phenomenal. And so we've built in our app essentially kind of a communication, a chat with kind of Dumpling, and our whole company kind of mans it. Now our support team and ops team, they man it throughout the day. And so we have an average response time of about a minute we call it SOS, because we know if you're in the store, especially if you think about COVID and your card's not working, you can't be waiting. I'll never forget the first time I did my first Instacart order, and I was at Costco. This is early on. We were trying to figure it out. I never got told what the PIN number was, and I'm trying to call in and do that, and it's 20 minutes, 30. It was actually a Costco employee that told me what the PIN number it was back then. So we really said, hey, if you're in the store and you need help, it needs to get through really quick. And so we have that kind of average response time, and then our whole team takes turns nights and weekends to just rotate so that everyone can talk and understand. But yeah, we've kind of built a system where after more and more orders, you kind of automatically get more and more trust of how much we fund. But no matter what, even if it's your first order, if you say, hey, I got an order, they asked me to go do this, I need more money, we can fund that really quickly and make sure that that's not an issue for you.
Awesome. I know I saw a few questions about the fees. Give us a breakdown, because I tell you right now, I was talking to Joel about Rover, and Rover takes 20% of my bookings, And I'm like, I don't think dumpling takes that much. So tell us about, like I say, you want to jump in dumpling, what the fees,
Absolutely.
what you guys take, or even with the customers, like what's all the percentages of the fees?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, we have a $29 a month subscription fee, and that's just kind of access to the platform. It keeps kind of the cards and um, the Connect account going. So that's the monthly fee, and then we have a platform fee, which is 5% on the purchases of the anything that goes through the card. And actually, from that 5%, we still pay kind of credit card and processing fees of that, because of course those have to be covered.
Nice.
So it ends up working out where, I mean, the overwhelming, amount of money that someone charges and makes absolutely goes to the business owners, and then we have that 5% platform fee on the groceries, and it's a very different dynamic of the 20 to 30% of the profit that goes out to, you talk about Rover, or even significantly higher on some of the other platforms. So we are a much smaller piece, and I think that's
even Apple Square. You guys are less. I have an Apple Square account for clients and stuff. You guys are a lesser fee. It would make more sense for me to move my stuff over to Dumpling and run it through there.
That's right.
Than to keep my Square account. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that was big for us, is just figuring out what is that sweet spot. And we've kind of, we certainly had our mistakes and learning lessons and things like that. And we kind of at the very beginning, it didn't make sense. Then we kind of shot up a little high, and then really where we've been for the last year and a half, I think is a really good spot. And from talking to, I think, all of our business owners, the successful ones, the new ones, we feel like we're in a really fair spot where it really allows people to keep the vast majority of what they're doing, and then allows us to have a nice business and to be around and support people to keep doing it.
I think I'm trying to see if there was like one more question I scrolled up that I may have missed. Yeah, darn it. Do you have a profile of what kind of customers you usually clients that a lot of the dumpling platform users have? Is it all income levels? Is it basically the people who just use the stuff that we all use, the Instacarts, the corner shop, and what have you?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I will say this one surprised us because when we were first starting, we're trying to target, or here's our profile customer and all this, and what we learned very quickly, because people are tapping into their own networks and their customers, it's just a wide range. I'll never forget, like this is going back years now, Steve. I think we might have talked about this at some point, but we had at one point, when we're looking at our first like 20 or 30 business owners, so really early on, we had a guy in South Florida that was like lived in a community that had a lot of yachts. So he was doing like yacht provisions. So they're going to go out for a week, and he would work with the captain and stewardess and figure out bringing this like super high end kind of stuff, and that people would want on these multi-million-dollar yachts. And at the same time, we had people that were servicing kind of their local communities. And I remember there was a lady in Houston by the name of Dallas. Haven't talked to her in a while, but she's incredible. And she had a bunch of like people that she knew that lived in trailer park community, but it was far enough outside of the city that Instacart and Domino's and no one would actually drive that far. So she made an incredible business of just saying, look, no one's serving you guys, but I can. And so she made an incredibly successful business. And it was just this kind of incredible range from A to Z. Fast forward today, we have people in Alaska that are servicing, it's just incredible. We actually have a case study on it. So like feel very fine talking about it. But Richard, he has this incredible community where there's all these remote villages all over kind of the outskirts of Alaska and the North Shore and things like that. There's not grocery stores, there's not different things. So they all place these huge orders. He shops for them in his big city, and then takes them to the local airport with these small planes that fly them out. We have people in South Florida that are focusing on resorts. And so they have partnerships with resort managers. And so if you come in and you book, hey, I'm going to be at this, this island and this house, here's what I want, that you arrive and everything's in your rental for the week and stockpiled. So it's really neat to see just a wide range of of customers for dumpling business owners.
Nice. And this is nationwide. I think
Yep.
someone asked if you were in North Carolina. Yep. Nationwide, guys. So you're here, you can figure it out.
In fact, a good check for you guys, like in big cities, you just know that they're there. But a good check that I've talked to other users about who use Dumpling is get on dumpling.us and type in your zip code and see who else is in your market. You might, if there's none, get on it that night.
Oh yeah, because you're able to do pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, like it's and you can learn from reading other people's profiles too. You know, you can learn how to write yours because you'll see things going, I do that, and you might not have put it in there yourself. Like, I don't know. You might have more skills, I guess, than you think you do.
Yeah, and we found that actually it's a really easy thing to think about, like, hey, I want to be the first one, but if there's more. But the market is so huge. And if you think about a city and how many Instacart shoppers and Amazon shoppers and Ship shoppers there are, we found that as a city or an area market will get more and more dumpling business owners in there, it just helps. It just kind of builds on itself. And a lot of them will start to like kind of team up and work together and do different things. So it's pretty cool to see it from that angle too.
A good question with Gigwise. Check out his channel. Pretty awesome guy. He checks out a lot of our channels. So part of it, we were talking about that you are going to basically sell yourself. You're gonna have the profile, but you're going to get some mentorship, some coaching. But does Dumpling ever give out a client or a customer? Like, does it ever, like, one moment it goes in your app? I think that's the question he's probably asking.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And that's actually probably an area, I know, Steve, we've talked about it since we did the podcast 2 years ago, but since kind of talking on air together, that's been a huge, I'd say, evolution for us. Was when we first started, it was a little bit of, hey, if you hate working for these on-demand apps and you're disgusted by how you're being treated, come over here. We got this other model for you. And so really, I mean, who's in the gig economy that doesn't hate how they're treated, right? So it was kind of everyone came over. And certainly then with the rise of COVID and things like that a lot of people were successful. But where we've really learned is it's not everyone is going to be successful from the gig economy with Dumpling. If you're expecting to just kind of come in and turn on the app and have an order come for you, you're just not going to be successful. And so we've really focused a lot more over the last year and a half on people that want to put in the work, that are going to kind of be willing to go out and find their customers, really kind of have pride in what they do, because it's really about, that you do a good job, you're going to build loyalty and you're going to get more orders. And so that's been a really, really big one. And so I would say, if the goal is to turn it on and get an order from Dumpling, and that's it, then we're not going to be a good fit. Having said that, though, where we are seeing a huge amount of success lately has been people that come in, maybe they already have a bunch of connections, maybe they do something else and they have that. And so they come in, they get that first order, they get those first few orders, and now they have reviews, they have ratings, you can see that they're active. And we do have a marketplace, and we do have a place where people can come in and say, hey, I live in zip code, 54321, put it in. Now, who are all the people that actually service my area? Because now, remember, we talked about when you configure your business, you can put all the different zip codes. Nice. And so now you can see, hey, these are the 5 companies that actually service my zip code, and I can read the reviews, I can read about them. And so that marketplace, we do get a lot of orders that way. And that's one of the things that we can help people with is, we have a national brand, people can come, they can check. But our goal is to say, hey, you need to find someone that's doing a really good job. So if you're active, if you get good reviews, then we're really helpful. If you've not done anything, you haven't even got that first order or tried anything, maybe you'll get an order, but I would say it's really effective when it's combined with kind of all the other stuff that you've done for your own business.
Well, this question right here, like, can you get business cards and hand them out? So like stuff like that, when you have your own, putting more effort in. I know Holly, I know she dropped the question. I think she may have something on her car displaying what she does in Dumpling. Like, put in an extra effort to get the clients, you will get clients, because you're putting more effort than the average person that's, like I said, just using the apps to turn it on and wait for an order to come in. Like, you put more footwork, putting more social skills, putting yourself out there, you could be successful.
Absolutely. First 100 business cards they give you.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, they get you just to give you that kickstart of, hey guys, these are important. You need these.
What's up to the Driven Dad? He's all over the place. He's working, making videos. He's in our live streams. Awesome guy. I know. I think I saw the Driven Mom in as well. Any rideshare options coming?
Yeah. So with this actually, so we actually came out right before the pandemic. We came out with kind of a parallel set of apps for rideshare, and kind of our thought was same thing of, hey, it's not, if it's on demand and it's and you need someone at 3 a.m, you're going home from the bar, it doesn't make sense. But there's a subset of rideshare that makes a ton of sense, whether it's like I'm doing the same route every single day, so I can schedule it ahead, or maybe it's I'd like someone to take, either my kids or my parents to a doctor across town. I want to know who they are. I want to know about their car. And so we did do that. And then basically COVID happened, rideshare stopped, and everything went crazy with grocery. So we kind of put that on the back burner. We focused on grocery. We still think that there's a really exciting potential there. The piece for us that we still need to figure out is how to do so in a way where people aren't putting themselves at risk, whether it's like, do you have the proper insurance? Do you have the proper licensing? And that's really hard to do for an individual. So if we were to kind of bring that off the back burner and put it on the front, we'd like to figure out a way to make sure that people, if something bad happens, an accident happens, people aren't kind of just strung out and left on their own. So could we help provide some kind of insurance and get it at like a group level where it's now affordable? But that's kind of where we left it, and I do think something that we'd love to focus on.
Have you ever talked to any of the companies like Buckle or any of these companies, like maybe about working with them? I know that they're slowly growing through states. They're not just bonfire coming through them, but I would think that they, because they are the seamless match. You can give up your insurance. They got you covered for period 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
so it's like they're your insurance and their insurance doing
that'd be
gaps,
interesting.
and they have the gap covered. I'm just wondering, because I mean, like, to be honest, if you did rideshare, I would think, and just knowing you, because Joel and I have had more conversations off camera or off live than we have live actually. So, but I mean, just knowing him, like, I would think that you would do all the things I've always wanted in rideshare. You would show videos. Don't do this. Even though we're independent contractors, that doesn't mean you can't help us. And you've proven that already. And people need it. Don't take these orders. Don't do this. Don't do. You would give the tips that these other platforms avoid giving us.
Yeah. And what's really neat too is that, a lot of it is just, we talk about, we've had these amazing coaches that have been successful already in their own. So they have just inherent like knowledge to share, but they're also, talking to people like Celeste and people like Susie and people all over the country that are being really successful. So a lot of it isn't these ideas that we have. It's just helping, hey, there's someone over here and they're killing it and they figured this out. So how do we help? So what's been really cool too is just there's a sense of community, right? Everyone's understanding. Hey, we've all kind of got this challenge. We've all had this, so there's a desire to help each other out, share best practices. And that's something that we're in a really good position because of the people that we get to talk to across the country. We can see that. And going back 2 years to that rideshare stuff, there were some people that early on were killing it. We had a guy in Louisiana that was, and it was just neat to basically say, hey, they've tried things, they failed, but this has worked and this has worked. And so how do we just share the best practices? How do we share and connect people? And really, I mean, that's kind of where we all started, 5 years ago when we were saying we were working with all these people. And just one thing that never felt right to us was just the narrative of who the gig worker is. And how honestly, like, kind of, you can't trust a gig worker to do this. So you really got to like just define it this way. And it was just like every interaction we had was like, there's some just unbelievably talented and driven and smart people that understand the problem, understand the market, and understand the clients better than anyone. So a lot of it really is just get out of just how do you clear a path and share what people have already figured out, and just kind of free them up to do their thing.
There's a lot of great questions being fired at. I'm trying to try to write them down. I appreciate everyone that's here, because I was talking to Joel earlier. I said our group that checks out the channels, check out multiple channels, they're in the community. these are the ones I think would really benefit from this, because they care enough to watch the videos about it. They care enough to talk about it.
They're the full timers.
They're full timers for most of the part. They know their market. They know the stores. They know what stores to avoid. So if they're able to just take this platform, I think they can benefit from it. So I think appreciate everyone that's in here, and please hit the like button so we can try to get the algorithm to push this video further. I think this is a lot of really good information. I think there was a few questions about alcohol and tobacco. I'm not sure. I guess you're not allowed to water those things, or
Yeah. So we really try to err on the side of just keeping our business owners out of trouble and different things. So if you know, we have business owners that actually have gotten liquor licenses and things like that. So we're going to support that. But if you don't have a liquor license and you don't have that, then we just kind of say, hey, to use it through our platform, because then we call it a shared platform, because, you know, we use vendors for credit card processing and things like that, and they have their rules. And if someone were to do something that jeopardizes it for everyone else. So we are on the side of that, where liquor is not supported, tobacco is not supported through kind of our platform. But of course, if you're shopping for people, they want wine, they want beer. And so we try to make it an open platform where you can do some things just not through kind of our technology and do it and support it. And then if you do kind of go through and get those, and every regulation's different, city, state, and all that. But if you do that, then we can work with you.
I'm so glad that you said it that way, because being in the bar industry for 25 years, I've told everybody, don't take Drizzly orders. Don't do this. You guys don't know. There's tip certification. There's things you need that you don't have. You don't have it, and you're just working for this app. And I guarantee this app's just going to treat you like the other apps do. If you get in trouble, they're going to leave you to burn. They're just going to turn their back on you. And liquor and that kind of stuff is a whole different story than delivering food incorrectly.
Gotcha. Another question about, does the app track inventory in the various stores?
Yeah. No. So that's actually been, you know, initially a challenge, and I think it's actually ended up being like a really good thing for us, is that we don't, you know, we've actually done some partnerships where we've worked with you know, a big grocery chain, national grocery chain, and actually got like the inventory and the API to get that all going on. But for the most part, we don't. And what's really nice about that is when you have there's obviously nice things about having the inventory and having the pricing. I think the challenge is that ever actually correct? And with inflation and with prices, so really you end up kind of just chasing things that are constantly changing, prices that are gone, and you're never actually really there. But there's this belief then, if I put it in the app, it should be there, and then when it's not there, it's whose fault is it? So we try to just be super just open of like, you got a list, what do you want? You know, there's obviously, if it's a big store, here's a bunch of stuff that people have used and crowdsourced, and you can do that. But, you know, where we'd like to really extend it to is, hey, do you want to use the web? You know what you're looking for, you know what the picture is, and you can put that in there. And then the nice thing about that is, you know, the inventories are great for the big box, you know, Publixes and Safeways and things like that. But one of the things that's really unique, like we talked about earlier, is being able to shop at your local stores and your local butcher and your local, and that will never be there. So how do you let people kind of just write in what they want? They don't have to worry about the price, because you're not marking it up. There's not a 30% hidden markup. They're going to get the receipt from the butcher. They're going to get the receipt from the local candle store. So when they know that, and then they know, oh, you're just getting paid, you know, 15% on top of that, or things like that, the price becomes a lot less important, because they're not trying to sniff out where they're losing from.
Awesome. JP's Gig Corner. I've seen you around. I don't know if I checked out any of his videos, but he says he signed up on Wednesday. He has about 20 people he shops for every week. He likes the entire concept. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Like you said before, you already, like, your network. I think Rideshare Lisa had a really good point. You have an idea of who's using these other services, and you just gotta connect with them on, like I said, a human level. Hey, you know me around the neighborhood. You see me shopping. Or same thing for me walking dogs. You see me walking dogs. You see me doing it, right? You want me to walk your dog? You know, what I mean? Like, it's so simple as that compared to the whole app. And hoping that you're going to get a good shopper or a good food delivery worker to come and deliver. You know exactly who the person is. And it just makes things so much easier, so much flexible. You're not feeling a sense of anxiety. You're shopping for someone on Instacart and something's not there, and you're dreading the moment of trying to get a replacement. And feeling like they may give you a low rating because of that item they really wanted. You have a relationship with the person now. If it's not there, they trust you. That's not there, and they're not going to give you a lot of crap about it.
Absolutely. And you might know that second time that if it's not there, they actually like this. So you might actually just know what their preference is and be able to do it without any, without a lot of hassle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gigaholic Rex is throwing a lot of questions. He's really interested. So segue. I checked out his channel. He's literally has that head thing on, and he does a video. I thought that was just his icon. Steve, have you seen his channel? Yeah. Check out his channel. It blew me away. I'm like, oh, he's actually talking with this on his head. He's not driving, I don't think, but that kind of blew me away. So check out Gigaholic Rex channel. How many active users, customers? Do you have any numbers or figures? I know you said you're across, nationwide.
Yeah.
But if you have any idea, like, any.
Yeah, so that's like kind of what we do share is that we have business owners across all 50 states. We're in the kind of multiples of thousands as what we've done. And then on the customer side, obviously significantly more for each of those business owners from there. So
going a step farther though, because I've asked you that a few times, what's the growth now since pandemic?
Yeah. So, I mean, early on and
I should say on the customer side.
Yeah. So I would say, one of the challenge with riding the wave of the huge kind of jump that we saw with COVID was after that jump, it's pretty hard to match, right? How many people weren't wanting to go to the grocery store that have no desire to do that? So there was kind of after the height of COVID, there was probably hard to swallow. Our whole team sitting there looking at like declining numbers. But I would say over the last year, we really felt like we kind of hit that number, and since we've really been focusing on the people that are really running this as a business and not just thinking about it as an alternative to gig work where everything's the same. We've seen that numbers kind of steadily increase over the last year. So that focus on kind of the features that we're building, the training that we're providing, the support we're providing, really more in tune for that business owner, and how to help them either bring customers that they know and they work with or go and promote their business. That's been really strong, and we've seen good growth over that last year since we talked.
Yeah, I mean, I would just think that I'm still blown away how many people I talk to who are like, what's dumpling? I mean, like, you don't have to be on it and be using it, but I'm shocked still how many people are like, what's dumpling? Like, they'll see me wearing the hat and working another gig. I'll be working curry. I'll be wearing this, and they'll be like, what is dumpling? I'm like, seriously, guys? Like, and they'll be like, I work Instacart. I'll get into a conversation, find out they work Instacart. I'm like, how do you not know this? Yeah. There's Spark, there's DoorDash, there's Instacart, there's Shipped. All these are doing food delivery. You've never even heard of dumpling?
Yeah.
It's like because you have a moral compass, nobody's ever heard of you.
That is our challenge. That is our challenge. And I think obviously it's why we appreciate you so much having talking about us. And I think more than just me kind of blabbing away, I think it's been really cool when you bring in the real kind of the business owners, people that have been using dumpling that have been successful, because I think hearing how they talk about dumpling and what their success is, I think is 100x more important than anything I can say. Yeah,
it's a love, and they all are characters too, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, great ones, but they're all different, night and day. They're great.
Absolutely.
I think more.
We could go on for 5 hours.
Yeah. So I know. I appreciate, Joel. I know you extended a little bit more to hang out with us. You answered all of our questions. We have great chat. A lot of great gig workers that a lot of them just said, I just heard of this, so this sounds like a good idea. So we just need to put more content out there. If you guys can share, if you have the ability to share, guys, I know a few content creators in here, share this video. Let's get more people to bring this a different idea, basically a different idea, right? A different, unique platform that you can really harness your ability to be independent, and that's extremely important. We do complain about the big guys, but there's some people say, well, should we develop our own app, or we should do our own thing? Well, this is basically a way to do your own thing where you're still getting mentorship, you're still getting coaching, and you're learning some skills you may come in with, the ability to sell. But if you don't have those abilities, you jump in, you're getting help, and you could get a few clients that no stress. You know them, they know you. You can shop with them just for grocery shopping, and also there's other services you can provide as well. So, Joel, I really appreciate spending some time with us to talk about talk about dumpling, and hopefully we can bring you back. Obviously in a few months or so. But I'm digging it. Obviously, Steve is digging it. Like, look at it. Look at the nice.
I'm getting ready to bombard this. I've been waiting for Max to go back to school, so I just want to show Instacart people what's up. I mean this. I think you caught our last conversation, Joel, and I was telling Hannibal that I almost want to go do a week of Instacart and let people decide if I should take the orders on a live stream. Like, show it to them and say, would you take this? And then if they say yes, I'll take it, and I'll evaluate at the end.
Yeah.
Because I'll break it down and say, wouldn't you rather this be your business? You set the price, you not be doing this. And then if tomorrow Instacart decides they got to cut $2 more off, you still have to roll with that. Build your own. I mean, if you've been doing Instacart for a year, you are dumpling ready. You're dumpling ready without doing it for a year. But like, if you've been doing Instacart that long, you're dumpling ready.
Yeah, you got the stores, you got the market sold up. Joel, do you have any social media? Any way? I know I'm sure there's gonna be more questions being pumped out after you depart, but any way they can contact you, and we'll put in the description. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so our dumpling is on Twitter at dumpling US. I'm on there at Jay Shapiro. We also have on Instagram a shop dumpling handle that our team does an incredible job with. So we like to share a lot of that. Has been really focused on kind of sharing the stories of other business owners, what they're doing, and different things like that. So really a great place to kind of see.
Don't forget the website.
Oh, and of course, yeah, check us
out. Because the website is one
of
the most informative websites, I think, of the gig economy. It's got a ton. If you have questions, the website should be able to answer it. And I'm not talking about through chat. All those options are there, but it does have everything you need to know.
Yeah, and shout out to Olivia on that, because she is our marketing VP, just guru everything, and she's really like poured her heart into that website, and we have a guidebook on there that gets linked to that really we'll kind of go in and share the stories of people and their background, how they use dumpling to support their own business, and there's some really good stuff. So thank you, Steve. Yeah, dumpling.us. You can check that out too.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Joel. I really, truly appreciate it. I think you changed a lot of minds, at least the idea is a spark. Because when Steve talked about a spark comes, it's like, yeah, that's a good idea. That actually works out. So thank you very much for spending some time with us.
I appreciate
it. And by the way, for those of you that don't know this, I do have one last question for Joel.
Okay.
Why are you the only good person CEO in the gig economy? I mean, seriously, like what's wrong with people?
I will say,
Steve.
I'm being serious though. Like, I've known this guy. He's a down to earth person. This isn't some fake front. This isn't Dara doing an interview with Harry. This is who Joel is. This is Joel.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, thank you for saying that. It's easy. I would say the thing that's been really cool about building our team out is that we have about 16 people from our the group of 3 of us as co-founders and everyone else, and we have probably 6 or 7 people that have come from the gig economy. And I think the thing that brings us all to work every day is just a desire to help kind of fight the fight. Level the playing field a little bit and create a platform that really isn't screwing people at the end of the day. So I think being surrounded by people that are driven and motivated within our team, I can't comment on kind of the rest of the companies, but it really helps. I mean, I think everyone on the dumpling team is really focused on doing it, and we think we can do it in a way that builds a successful company for dumpling too. So it's not just kind of doing handouts here. I think it's finding the right balance. There's an incredible market here within the service industry and online shopping and food. And so if we can make it so it's not completely lopsided and exploitative, I think we got something good that'll help everyone. So.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Love what you're doing, Joel.
Much success to you and your company. I think you're doing good work. Just keep going. And, as long as we all can kind of just spread the word, I think, dumpling will do very, very, very well in the future. So thank you very much for coming through.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate
Joel, CEO of Dumpling. That was amazing. There was so much to take in.
I wasn't kidding when I said 5 hours. We could have said I was thinking of 30 questions. I was like, I'm not even going to ask him. There's
I feel bad because I know he had a certain time limit, but there's so many good questions. Appreciate you guys. So many good questions. You can tell like it sparked a little bit in some of the some of our subscribers, people who check us out. So it's super, super amazing. Is Holly still in here? I'm not even sure. I know we had some. I know she wanted to talk about her experience on Dumpling. I don't know if she's still in there.
I think she is. She's probably working, but I'll text her just to make sure.
Just let her know. And then I could just put the link in the chat if she wants to talk about her experience. But yeah, I was telling about the 5% fees, and I'm like, man, I am paying. Rover takes 20 out of my booking, and that does add up.
I wasn't even going to ask it. There she is. But I wasn't even going to ask it. But I wanted to say, like, what is the ethical standpoint for Hannibal here? Now that he knows he could, because it's not a joke. I don't mean to be mean, but you could take those clients and move them.
Yeah.
Like say, hey guys, I'm starting my own profile on this page. I'm trying to actually build my own brand and not be working for. And that, I mean, in a way, I know some people might. I was trying to even figure out where my ethical boundary is with that. That's what I do all the time when I'm doing. Could this work on Dumpling? And usually it ends up, I'd be fine with that because this is what it is. This is my work.
Why I was wondering. Like, I didn't ask the question, but I didn't want to put him in a funny spot by saying, "Well, can I go and do Instacart, right? And if I'm doing a shopping, and basically just say, hey, do you want me to do this? Probably cheaper, and if I did a great job,
he would have said no, or he would have said,
I want to put him in because that's because it's. I guess is that ethical? Probably not, right? If that's the Instacart,
I think I know a guy named Steve that's going to try that. So I don't know if it's ethical.
You get one Karen Instacart lover that loves Instacart, like they're trying to take a business. I don't know. I think for the most part you probably.
So what? They'll deactivate me?
Yeah, exactly.
I never get one good order from Instacart. I don't care.
Fair enough. But you are taking that risk. But
no, I'm not recommending it to people either. There are different approaches. Yeah. And honestly, the word of mouth thing should be I think Joel hit it best when he said, listen, he admittedly, he says this isn't for everybody. This is for the hard workers who want to put in a little more work even. But then you have a business. That little more work brings you a business. Like it's actually your business. It's not going to be that it could be yanked out. Like you could feel like you're killing it and you made your living on Instacart, and then you get deactivated for no reason. Now what?
Yeah, what I would do, not what that other guy Steve will think about.
Yeah, I won't do it.
I would if I'm in I think we talked about this on your podcast. If I lived in an apartment complex and I knew I saw tons of Amazon Flex orders, tons of Instacart, a lot of grocery shopping, I would advertise in that apartment building, especially if I live in there. I'd be like, hey, listen, guys, I do the same thing, but you see me, I live here. If something went wrong, even with an order or something, where I live. I'm with you. I know where the store is at. I know where to shop. Check me out. Try it out. See if you like it. See if you like, what I do. And you may get a couple of clients in your own apartment complex. Like like I said, networking is the most important part. Like, yes, you may be able to get some clients through the website or through the platform, but you really should be spending your time trying to bring clients into the fold. And actually, we got a Dumpling user, Holly.
Hello.
How are you doing? Are you working right now?
Hello.
Like she has paperwork.
Yeah, you got paperwork. She's always working. So
you can see all the crap I have in my car.
During the gig conference, you talked to me about being a dumpling shopper and your experiences. So it's great that you came in. I appreciate you for coming through. Tell us about your experience. When you started, how you started, and what do you do on the platform?
Okay, I started about a year ago, and I have been racking my brain all week trying to remember how I found out about Dumpling and how I even got on it. And honestly, I don't remember. I think it was somebody on YouTube that mentioned it, honestly. And so I signed up and I made some business cards and some flyers, and I can't even remember where my first customer came from. But I tell you what, my first customer that I had, the very first order I did, is still with me today. And she is someone that I've had the whole year. I started her out, at a certain level as far as price goes. And so I told her when I raised my prices that she would stay at the VIP level. And so I always discount her a little bit and I don't charge her extra. I do tobacco for her quite often. So that is something that she will send me an order for 7-Eleven and I see it. And so I know that, hey, she needs me today. But as he said, I can't run it through there, unfortunately.
But you know her now. So I mean, like, if she says, hey, I need some tobacco, whatever that tobacco product is that she likes, that well, she's not gonna, I got this. Right. She's got it. We got this taken care of.
It's a true like a relationship, right? Like it's more that it's like when you're doing like a DoorDash and someone says, "Can you buy me a card of cigarette?" You're like, no, I got you. No, I don't know you.
Well, and honestly, I have picked up cigarettes for people before when I've done like a drizzly order on DoorDash or something.
Yeah.
But then again, I know it's the same with the alcohol. If I'm because I was buying them alcohol anyway, and so I picked up their cigarettes for them. But I know when I get there, if they're not old enough for the alcohol, then I won't give them the cigarettes either. It's. Okay. But I don't know. When I first started with dumpling, though, I did put, I think, some alcohol. I don't know if it was alcohol and tobacco or one or the other did go through on the card. And then they told me that I wasn't supposed to do that. And I didn't know that. So initially they were taking it. And that's how I found out, is because it declined on an order. Okay. And I was like, and then they told me, and I was like, oh, well, nobody ever said anything before. So I didn't know. The one thing that I have not been doing with them that I would suggest to everyone else, and I want to do and have been trying to do, is they have twice a week, I believe it is, that they have a session where you can Zoom and you can have a Zoom call, and all these people are on there, and apparently they give you a bunch of great ideas.
And the banner comes down on your phone and it says we're live now, and it goes for a while. Right. It's good. It's good stuff.
It just seems like every time it happens that I'm busy, because it's like 2:00 in the afternoon my time. But I really do want to do it because I've heard that there's a lot of really good information there. So
great marketing techniques for those that are like, well, okay, I've been doing Instacart. I get the dumpling set up. I set up my profile. Got a couple clients. That's where they can really jump in and go, well, okay, have you done this? Have you done this? What about this? Have you tried this? You get interaction from everywhere. I'm telling you,
and you
all kinds of tips.
You'll get out of this what you put into it. And I know,
which is what every business owner does. Absolutely. That's how business works.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. They're not going to spoon feed you. I mean, you will get some customers because they search by zip code. And right now, if you search by my particular zip code, I'm the only person right now. There was one other person the other day when I looked, and now he's not on there. But then if I search another zip code that's a little bit farther south in Sarasota, then one other girl comes up, and she's been on there a long time, and she's got like 57 repeat customers. I mean, she
might list your zip code on hers, right?
I don't think she does, because it doesn't come up, because I was checking different zip codes in Sarasota, and I'm on the north end, and I am basically right on the line of Sarasota and Bradenton. So I do both. But I mean, I pulled up the map when I signed up for this, or when they changed it to where that's how you did it. And I wrote down probably 40 different zip codes all around this area and made sure I put all of those in there for me.
Nice. So going back to just the question, because, even Joel talked about it. It's not every gig worker wants to have an LLC and run a real small business. So it is a good idea to really be honest with yourselves. I know you guys are checking it out. They think it's a great idea that you're going to be paying a monthly fee. And if you're not putting in the groundwork of talking to people, even people who may not be not interested at all, and getting some people may have a little bit of an attitude when they say no, and not letting that bother you. Like, just keep going and going. If you don't have that energy, I'll just say that energy to try to get clients, it may not work out for you. It's not, Holly was saying, Steve was saying, you're not turning on an app and
you get 60 days for free, though. So if you have one customer, You get 60 days for free. See if that branches out to 3 more. See if
Did
that
they just change that? Because they had tiers where you could be, I was free for the first.
Yeah, that's been changed for a little bit. Yeah.
They have. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to say, I stayed free longer than I should have because the fees go down for you once you actually go on the pro program. So I should have done it earlier.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, but I mean, even 2 months is, to be honest, like, if I would guess, here's what I would think. Some people will sign up, their 2 months will go by, they won't have done a thing. They won't have set it up, they won't do anything, and all of a sudden, I didn't see anything from Dumpling. Well, did you try? Because I'm guessing you didn't even try. You didn't set up your profile. You didn't. It's not. Joel put it very well. It's not an app. You don't turn it on and you're going to get requests.
No.
And that's the bonus of it. At the same time that it might be, some of you might see it as the negative, because you're not getting crappy orders. You set your prices. You find your clients. And if you're good with 1 or 2 clients, that should turn into more. Unless I mean, everybody interacts with other people, so they're going to share that information with other people.
I have to say, I'm surprised because I hear that a lot. Like your people that you had on your live that one time, that Celeste and the other girl that are real good and have big business.
Yeah.
They talk about word of mouth, and oddly enough, I don't get word of mouth here.
But you see, they literally were Instacart, both of those 2 that you just mentioned, and Matthew Tells, all 3 of them. Now, those 3 are in the top 5 dumpling shoppers in this country. And I've talked to all of them intensely. All of them only worked Instacart. Only.
Well,
when they moved to Dumpling and started learning things, they went to like I said, they went to, I mean, they were going to, to government functions, to city functions. They were being told by the university these ways to approach. So they weren't multi-apping while trying to build Dumpling. They said, I'm done with Instacart and I'm putting 100% into Dumpling. Now, you don't have to do that to go full time. You can start Dumpling,
right? And
you can get a couple clients, and as long as it's paying that. I just saw that Gig Rex said, I just saw it was a $20 setup fee. Yes, and it's only a $20 fee for a second card too, if you want to do that. But here's the thing, guys. Like, if you really are thinking, you have to be in the mindset that you're wanting to do your own business, that you're wanting to do this. And if you are, I challenge you to go see if you can do it independently, cheaper than you can with the Dumpling platform.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I would never.
Processing credit cards, like even that. Just, I mean, no way. So this is a great way to have a business,
and they are great.
That monthly fee is worth it, you guys, because it should serve as a goal, because it should serve as a goal that, hey, you at least should be pulling this in almost immediately after the 60 days to cover the cost of being on this platform, and they take next to nothing on the percentage. So it's like, that's as good as you're going to do. So if during that 60 days you can build a client or two, it's.
And Holly, you said support was pretty good, right? Because
they're amazing. The other day I picked up an order and I was at Publix, and because when you receive an order, they initially fund your card for like $225, $250. Well, my order was a little bit over, so it declined it right away. Within 60 seconds, they were boom. We see you had a decline. What can we do to help? Yep. And they immediately, within a minute or two, they'd cleared it. They'd upped my limit, and here you go. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're very quick. They don't let you sit there and worry about things like Instacart does. And I carry business cards and my flyers in my car all the time. And when I have an Instacart customer that we've been chatting back and forth, and I've, been talking to or whatever, and they're nice, I always give them my information. I always say, oh, and by the way, if you ever need anything, I also have my own grocery delivery business, and I have a big magnet on the side of my card that has my business name and my phone number. You just got to put it out there.
Yeah. Got to put the effort in. What's up, Dashing Grandpa?
Yeah, I saw his comment too.
Let's just throw it in there just to see exactly.
I think you're talking about Trip. I think you're talking about Trip, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Because Dumpling was never even did it look like a pyramid thing, because there is no pyramid thing. There's no recommending people. There's nothing that builds you up in that way. It's straight priced.
Yeah, and I guess we could still go from because it's a very different platform. So just to kind of come back to the basics, let's just go strictly with grocery shopping, because I know the other stuff can be a little bit overwhelming. Like, you can do everything with it. Just keep it with grocery shopping. Let's say, for instance, you've delivered to the same Instacart customers, or you already know a few people who order it. You sign on with Dumpling, you get the setup fee, you get your credit card, you get everything set up. They go in, you set up your profile. They have coaching that's going to help you put all that together. Then you
They
start
also have virtual cards now as well as the physical cards. I just got my virtual card set up. So
yeah,
got virtual
like
cards, right?
Either bump a phone or QR code. You got them both through them. You can do the bump a phone and tap your card to people.
And if you're still a little nervous about trying to approach people, trying to get clients, they said that classes get like Dumpling University, where you're learning how to run a business, how to get customers. And that's where it comes to, because you already know how to shop. Shopping is not the problem, right? You already know how to do it. You already know the stores. And also you're picking up what stores you're doing. Right. You're already picking out your schedule, your rates. That's something you're probably going to need some coaching if you're not exactly sure how much to charge. I mean, Holly, how did you get to how much, like your rates? Did you go through the coaching portion, or you just kind of knew?
I went through the coaching and I priced myself a little bit higher than they recommend, honestly, because I'm in Sarasota and because the prices of gas have gone up so much. So right now I am at 20% of your grocery total or $20 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So could you not do 15%, because tips are allowed now too through the app? You can tip
no, I get tips. Like today I made.
Yeah, so pull your amount down to 15%.
And I
had it at 15 when I started, then I went up to 17, and now I'm at 20. I love it, and that's kind of running with everybody around here.
I forgot to ask Joel because I read about this, so I'm assuming it's true. You cannot tip bait in Dumpling. They basically, if you get tip, they can only
it gets charged to your card immediately. You as a customer, you'd be kicked off the platform. They don't hesitate that. They'll kick a customer off. Yeah. We so don't tell me another gig. Tell me another gig app that'll kick a customer off.
Yeah. True.
You got damn near kill a person.
And you can trust these customers. If the customer says that they're going to wait to tip because they're a new customer, they don't know how this is going to work, whatever. They do tip on this app. It's not that these people aren't going to be the ones to say, "Oh, sorry, I'm not going to tip you." That's just
right, because they're hoping you work out. Yeah. They're hoping that you're going to be their new shopper.
Yeah, so I don't worry about that. I had one the other day that said they would tip me afterwards, and it was a $50 tip. So
JP, it's $30 or $29 per month. The 5% is how much they from the order, right?
Yes,
from the order you put in. So that's the 5%, which is I think I saw a Dash or Die. What's up? It does sound like Rover, yet the only thing is they take less money.
The platform fee, though, you can choose to pay as the business owner, or you can have the customer pay that. That is your choice.
That's what I was just gonna say, and that's how I would suggest to do it, is have the platform take it out.
Nice.
As a line item instead of you doing it.
Yeah, my customers pay that right now. When I build up my business bigger, then I'll pay it.
Yeah.
And the idea of discounts.
Also,
you can give out people discounts. I think Elisa asked, I guess she said
that's what I was going to mention. Dumpling does do discounts because they will run a promo, say that they have a promo code Welcome 15, where the customer gets $15 off their first order. Well, guess what? They're paying that. You as the business owner we don't even pay that. Dumpling does that for us, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know hopefully very soon here we get Hannibal one, but right now, guys, if you go to dumpling.us, you sign up, and if you put in Rodeo 2022 and you do 10 shops in 60 days, they send you $300.
You should write that. You should put that down somewhere.
I need to re-sign.
Send me the description. I'll put it in. Repeat that again.
So if you put it's not one of those things where it's got an affiliate link. You have to type it in when you're doing this. When you go to dumpling.us, you have to type in referral code, and you just put in Rodeo 2022. And if you do 8 shops, so basically the way it breaks down, 1 shop a week, you could have 1 customer. If you have 1 customer that needs groceries every week, 8 shops in 60 days, you get $300.
Your mom, your sister, somebody.
Yeah.
Family member.
Yeah. As long as you get use going, their theory is they don't mind giving you the 200-300, whatever they're offering to different people, because they think that if you get that bonus, that you'll, okay, well, I've been on it for 60 days. I've been doing that. I reached the bonus, that you'll have enough background to make a proper decision. Do I want to stick with this, or do I want to or is this not working?
And I think a lot of people would be surprised because I know it seems like it's a lot to start with, right? Where am I gonna get these clients? Where am I gonna get these customers? Yeah, I'm paying a monthly fee, and I do like just to turn on the app and things come to me. But what I think is what you're gonna appreciate, because I know everyone here works really hard and takes pride of what they do. They take pride of doing these apps, providing great customer service, and they're not happy with how Instacart treats them sometimes, or how DoorDash, whatever it is. When you have your own little virtual storefront with it's your profile, with your picture, and you telling the potential customers what makes you special, what makes you hardworking, whatever, and you get the reviews start coming in, and they're good reviews, you're gonna look at that and say, you know what, man, I should work harder to get more clients. Maybe I wouldn't not necessarily, be on Instacart as longer than I usually are. Like maybe I should more, like I said, Holly saying, focus more on dumpling.
And I need to do that. I need to do that too, because I do get too wrapped up in I have to have money today. I got to have money this week. And it's hard to break away from that when you're used to doing it all the time and focus more on your own. But it's
one of Celeste's suggestions to me that I'll give to you, Holly, was just listen, even if it's just this, go to one Chamber of Commerce meeting a month in your town, one a month. Have your business cards and just see what happens, because she blew her business up that way, and word of mouth.
It down the other day when she said it.
Yeah, her word of mouth built the business, but her going to the chamber like upped it to a level she had to hire 2 people.
Yeah,
hire 2 people, guys.
Yeah, hire. And she created another business outside of it. She actually hired W-2 people. So oddly, she didn't even take the gig people. You guys, there's an enterprise level too. I keep seeing this, the monthly cost. There's an enterprise level for, I think it's $99.99, where you can have 5 cards and have 4 people shopping for you. So where you would give them the order, they don't really.
You can build it that big. That's a big business. But
I mean, but you don't have to show them the numbers. You don't have to show them how much you just tell them how much you're going to pay them. So now you're their boss for this job. You can treat it like a gig, or you can use them all the time, but you can get 5 cards and have people using it.
Yeah. Give me a second real quick.
I don't know if anybody else is interested with the alcohol and the tobacco. Like I do have to pay out of pocket for that because I cannot put it through my dumpling card. So what I've been doing is I pay out of pocket for that. And then
that's what I was thinking.
I just got a message actually about another customer that just signed up on my app. Okay, nice. Cool. That's funny. That just came across. But so I invoice them through Square, and they pay me through Square before I get there, or they can pay me at the door because I have the slider thing. But I've been working with somebody that may come on board and help people like me. I don't know if you know this or not, Steve. We can talk about it later if you don't. But that may come in and help, so I don't have to take that out of my pocket.
Right.
And will fund that for me.
Yeah.
But it's somebody you and I both know, so that's why I don't know if you know.
Cool. So food delivery on dumpling. So again, there's so many different ways, so many different services you could provide. But I'm kind of wondering, catering seems like it'd be a good idea.
Crazy good.
Where you can work with places where they need food every morning, either it's like a morning lunch, catering. You say, hey, listen, instead of going to, I don't know, whatever the apps are, I will do it. I'll get the food. Call Dumpling, because you're probably going to need that credit card, the limit to go a little higher, and have that. So I'm thinking for food delivery, catering would probably be a good idea. I'm just spitballing, but finding a lot of places that needs catering on a regular, they would love to see one person dropping off the donuts or the whatever for, you know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be a really good idea.
You guys, I'll drop a couple of tips that I'll drop one here that I've had dropped on me before that is unbelievably smart. Go to a retirement home and talk to the director. You can actually talk to the director while you're talking to them. You can call Dumpling and they can verify that you are a dumpling shopper and this is legit.
Yeah.
And then you can approach everybody in the retirement home. Hey, what special dietary needs do you need anything? And you could do a once a week bulk delivery, almost like catering, but where you're bringing everybody's stuff. Yeah, it's probably going to take you a whole day. It's probably going to take up your whole day, but you might have 10 clients, 12 clients in a retirement home.
Yeah.
Or a car dealership or a small office where you could go and say, hey, maybe on Wednesdays or, day of the week that everybody can put a lunch order in together or something, like that.
Go meet the managers at a hotel with a conference room that isn't downtown and that's kind of somewhat medium sized. Go get to know them. Tell them you can service anything they need.
That's what it's all about. I mean, the networking, and I'm sure you guys know people who work in these places. Say, hey, listen, they need someone to bring breakfast or dinner or lunch. Like hey, let them know that I do this. You know me, right? Like what I mean. Like the networking is probably, especially to start out with, the strongest part, and then it goes, like you said, word of mouth and then you're still hustling, trying to get more clients. But that's, I think, you guys that are in this chat can all do this.
Yes, every name I've seen come through this chat could do this.
Hardworking, these apps inside and out, the market, and you also know, as Joel said, the problems with these apps, and the human element is gone. That's the biggest problem. The human element, where support is someone too far away to understand what we're going through. You're basically the HR in an app where you're, like I said, deactivating. There's problems happening, but you're not talking to a human being. You really it's all zeros and ones. You're getting deactivated, or you're getting account violations where you're not able to explain yourself. At least with this dumpling platform, it gives you back the human element. You are talking to another person, you're communicating with them, and things is a better experience for everybody involved when you are able to see that same person every single time you shop, or whatever services that you're providing.
You do become close to your clients. You have for a long time. I mean, that girl that I deliver for all the time that I've had since day one. I mean, she just invited me the other day to come over and hang out at the pool with her one afternoon.
Half of these successful dumpling shoppers. I mean, I know Hannibal does too for his clients, but give you keys to their house. You're doing all the many of these people who are the best at this are not just doing grocery shopping. They're doing 4 or 5 services for people.
Right.
I mean, everything, and I probably will sign up because I really find this fascinating. And I want to see I see some potential in other things, but a lot of it, like I'll show you guys how I do the Rover stuff, right? So it's the same concept. You have a storefront, your face, your picture, whatnot. Someone contacts you and they may ask for a meet and greet. Sometimes I say, let's meet and greet. We decide a day and time to meet up. Either they meet in my house or we meet at theirs, or sometimes we go to a neutral spot. We'll go to a park. And this is time where I am is an interview. But I'm interviewing
for
them.
Both of them. I was just gonna say for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
See if the person's a wacko. If it's a wacko, I don't want to work with them. But they want to know that I'm who I say I am. Yep. And I talk to them. We have a casual conversation. I'm asking questions. They're asking questions. And at the end, if they're cool, then we book and they pay through the app and we set up the arrangement to get the dog. And that's how it works. I mean, so I'm assuming it's probably similar to dumpling if they want to do a meet and greet before they start.
I don't know if
it's the same.
Sure as much about that as they are their dog. I mean, people are.
Yeah, that's like a family member, but I mean, but the thing is does dumpling offer you or does Rover have Rover University? Does it have Rover on staff 1 minute people? No. I mean, the things that dumpling does is make sure that even if you're struggling a bit, they jump in, and it's nothing you don't need to be ashamed of it. They will step in and say, have you done this? Have you tried this? Have you tried? Not in a mean way. They're just going to they're going to throw everything at you. Hey, let's get you running.
Yeah.
They're on your side. This is unlike any other gig support team you've ever dealt with. They are doing literally everything to help you, not the company.
Sounds like a personal assistant. I mean, it could be. If it gets that, if that's
you can do anything.
You can do whatever. One thing you can't do, we're not going to say it, but it's one thing Stephen wants.
Anything illegal.
No illegal. Well, wait a minute. But certain places in the country is not, Steve.
Well, behind paywalls.
Okay.
Nevada.
Yeah, no, but all right, it won't be bad. It won't be bad. It just almost everything. Just
Are you going to put your cuddling on there?
I don't think that's probably not going to work, right?
It probably would, but then it borders on what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Right now.
I don't want to. Joel's a super.
He'd be like on the fringe and then a little.
He's super nice. I would not want to give him problems by someone rubbing up on someone, hugging him. Like, is this, you allow this on your platform, sir? And then he has to answer that. I would not do it. I'm going to do my thing. I'm still going to do it, but I will sign up. I think I see some ideas and I would like to do some videos on this because I want to get people to be more comfortable with this idea. I understand it could be a bit overwhelming just on the face of it, right?
Well, and it is set up to be like a grocery app as far as like when you go on there, you're going to choose stores and that kind of thing. So what I would like to have happen sometime whenever you guys get a chance to do this is have Joel explain to people, including myself, because I don't know, how do you set up other services? Because I mean, there's stores and stuff on there to pick for the grocery services, but let's say I just want to do dog walking. Well, how am I supposed to set that up on their app? That
you just call them. You just call the team that you would call if you were at the store and you needed extension, the money
dumpling
part of it. Yes.
And they're going to set something up so people go in there and see my dog.
You just basically are saying, hey, I have other services I want to offer.
Okay.
And then they'll take it from there. You really won't have to do much. They'll say, what do you want to do? I want to do this. Okay. Well, what? Okay. This is how we need you to do that. And they'll walk you through it. They'll tell you how they need you to do it.
You know what? I'm going to sign up and I'm going to add that service as well. I'm going to say dog walking, dog boarding. I'll set up and I'll make a video about it just to see how the process works. And
I mean, I know, Hannibal, for a fact, a lot of people who sign up and a lot of people end up doing dog walking. I'm going to tell the chat this and everybody too, that a lot of people who do dumpling do dog walking just because they're there already. And it's like an excuse to get some exercise after doing this grocery shopping anyway.
I have it on my website.
They get keys to the house. And I know that a lot of them get offered, can you watch my dog? And often it's, can you watch my dog at my house? They don't want the dog to leave either. I don't know if that's common with Rover, if that's how it's done. Or
they have house sittings and they have just anything you need with the animal. They got it. But with this, it's basically the same thing, but I can just put those services. The creativity just comes up when I'm thinking about this. There's so many different ideas that you can really work with. And like I said, doing it on your own, it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff you have to do where they're taking care of the majority of everything. Like what Holly said, providing a $15 off your first order. There's no business that someone's going to just pay that for you. Right, no. Like that would have to come out your pocket if you were going to do this on your own.
So I will tell you I can't give away everything, you guys, about some stuff I'm about to launch, but I will tell you a service I will be adding to mine to give you an example of a service you could add. Is that so during the pandemic, a lot of places had notary publics in their building, and since the pandemic, notaries are tougher to come by a little bit. So notary can be added where you can go on site to notarize.
Yeah, mobile notary. Mm-hmm.
Instead of people having to go find this place or a UPS location and then stand in a line, you can go to their house and notarize whatever that they need. You just, obviously you got to get, obviously you have to take the 3-day class or 2-day class to get a notary, you get certified as a notary. But that's just thinking outside the box. There's a lack of notaries here in Denver right now. If you're a mobile notary, you might even get legal firms and stuff.
You can go on beyond that and do be a signing agent to where you go to loan signings and stuff like that. It's just one more step after notary too. And I hear, people make good money.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you doing a simple notary for somebody at their house might lead them to go, hey, I'm an attorney. Any chance you can do bigger? Yeah, I can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah. Good comment from Dashing Grandpa. Sometimes you just have to do what you already do. If you're happy, you're making it. If you add too much to your briefcase, so to speak, you'll end up stressing out and burning out. Be wise. Yeah, that's a really good comment. I know Joel kind of said it when a lot of people first start doing dumpling, they get grand ideas, just like what I'm having right now. Like, I'm gonna do all of this. I'm gonna take it slowly. Take it one step at a time. You don't want to burn out because it is a solo act for the most part, until you get so big that you can have employees underneath you. But you don't want to go too crazy. If you can get 1 client, 2 clients a week, and if that's taking care of everything, you'd be good. Like, maybe you'll get an extra client, but you don't have to go crazy. And also this may be more efficient with your time, where every week you have this many clients, you have this much money coming in. The stress level
That's one of the first things on the website. It says, hey, you'll develop a schedule in a perfect world. You'll know when you handle what client, probably exactly like what you do already, Hannibal.
Yeah,
it's not like you have to wing it every day. You know when you're doing what.
Yeah. And that's the thing about doing the gig work, it was really great 2 years ago, but then, it started to slow down, and then there's more problems in like last year, and then like this year, where you can tell there's going to be a bit of a issue. Who knows what's going to happen next year? But I believe that people would pay a little more if they knew and trust the person that was taking care of their services. If I knew Holly, she's going to take care of me, I would pay, like she charged a little bit more. I would not mind paying that because I know her and I trust her with groceries or even bringing them into my house. I think people, they have to have the means, obviously, but they're willing to pay for that kind of trust and that kind of commitment,
And
I would pay more. I would tell you right now, I would pay way more to be able to trust somebody and have the same person.
Right. And I have a lot of vacationers here in this area because I'm here with Siesta Key and Anna Maria Island. And so there's a lot of people. So I focus also with my Facebook. I'll put ads on to those groups, like for Siesta Key and Anna Maria Island, to say, hey, vacationers, have your groceries there when you get here. So I had a big order on Saturday, and 3 couples were coming in. They were all renting a house together, and they had me, go in there first, and I put all their stuff in the refrigerator, and I unpacked all their stuff for them, and put it all there. So when they walked in, they were good to go and could relax. So
I just thought of this idea right now. This is how quick ideas come. I know it's happening with Hannibal. It's happening with it's happening with Holly too. And she's got her paper out. But I was just thinking, like, dude, if you know an Airbnb person, get in with them and leave your card in their Airbnb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, when you get here, call me. I can get all your groceries. If you have special dietary needs, I got it covered.
Or maybe cleaning services. You're into the cleaning services?
Yeah, whatever.
I do cleaning services.
I got you.
Yeah, this is a good comment, gig-wise, because this is why I can't really leave and take vacations, right? Setting up a client base on Dumpling is kind of a commitment. It is a commitment. You can't just take work off anytime like you do now, and that's a really important.
But you can.
Well,
you have to let them know. Hey, I'm
as long as you let them know.
Sure, you can.
Yeah, but I'll always have to talk about it, at least in my perspective. When I say I can't do something with a client, like I can't do this, I have a good idea. If they find somebody else, they're going to stick with that person, right? And maybe that's a little bit more of me being paranoid. And I have clients where I think I have a pretty solid relationship. But the thing is, when it's busy and I got to take care of these animals, I can't just pick up and go. And again, it's a little different.
Dog care is different. Dog care is different.
Shopping.
Different. That's like, it's different.
But even then, if you met somebody through shopping, now you're doing their dog walking, they know you're a person too. If you tell them 2 days before, hey, next week I won't be there. Okay, that might be a problem. If you say 3-4 weeks ahead of time, hey, I'm taking my only vacation this year, I guarantee you they're still going to come back to you.
Yeah, I think that's my hang up. That's probably like, even this year I finally started saying no. Like I've been taking too much work in, and my wife has to remind me, like, chill out. I think that's just my mind, just like, yeah, they say no. If I say no, then somebody else can get that. And, but that's my hang up. But
the other thing is you get 2 dumpling cards with even just the basic account we're talking about. You get 2 dumpling cards. You can give one to your significant other, like Marissa and I might do. Okay. Or you could have one ready, Hannibal, in case you go on vacation, to give to a gig worker who you say, hey, listen, I'll just send you the orders. Because that's what you can do, is you can just send them. I need you to go get this and deliver it here.
Yeah.
And again, I would have a harder time trusting someone.
I know. I'm just pointing out there's solutions. There's direct.
But I'm paranoid like he is. I would be.
Yeah. Well, we all are.
Afraid to hand it to somebody else under my name than I would be to let a stranger do it.
Yeah. But that's the same thing. If you get so many clients and you have to start getting some help, it goes back to interviewing, learning how to interview someone and trusting them. And you may not want to grab your friend that or your family member to do the job, because like, well, do you trust them? I have so many mistakes of me being a manager, but that's a whole different level that you have to learn. And I'm sure there's coaching on that too, of trusting, getting the right person to do the job. It is difficult to find good help. Like, what they're saying? It's fine. It's hard to find good help these days. Yes, 100%. But if you do find good help, it's incredible.
Yeah,
I've had a couple people ask me if I was hiring.
Well, I mean, the other thing is once they trust you, if you're just doing groceries, once they trust you, I hear this from every dumpling shopper I talk to. It's like every one of them says, and it's not some guys, it's every customer I have is all of a sudden asking me to do 3 or 4 different things because all of a sudden they trust me now. Like, oh, you're not one of those gig people. You're cool. You're my friend now, and you do this and you do a good job. I like you.
I see the reviews of the dumpling platform. They're not this. They're totally different than Instacart reviews, right? Like especially for a customer end. You know, it just takes a few bad Instacart shoppers that just makes this experience bad for a lot of people. Like I've bought stuff on Instacart, and my wife likes to complain. Well, she don't like to complain. Let me change that back. She complains about certain aspects of how the groceries is packaged. Putting raw stuff with fruit, saying it's like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you, she used to work at the grocery stores, bagging, and she's very efficient and she knows what products go where. And Instacart does have some level of training, but they show you what you're not supposed to put in a bag together with certain products. But you will notice that to have 1-2 bags, right? You don't want to put too many bags together. They'll try to stuff everything in these 2 bags and hand it to you. And then you see all the problems that occur. So it's like those certain things get a lot of people annoyed with the process of Instacart.
I will unpack something right in front of a bagger because nothing will piss me off more than that. I want to tell you what, you will see flames come out of my ears. They start packing my ice cream and my bread together. And I lose it. I'm a crazy person when it comes to bagging. It's
important to get it right. All right. It's simple, but it's very important because it's things that we're consuming. Yep. You don't want to put raw stuff with cooks, very fundamental things that maybe Instacart doesn't do a great job of explaining and training. But it seems like with dumpling is a little different to set up. So I'm all in. I know I said that before and I forgot to sign up, but I am definitely going and talking to the CEO. It's just such a great guy explaining things.
I knew you'd think that. I'm shocked he gave us. I mean, not shocked because he is a great guy, like you just said, but it's just that's who he is. He didn't even have the time to do this tonight, and he bumped stuff back for Hannibal and I because he heard what we were talking about a week ago. Yeah. He was listening to my podcast, and he was like, God, you guys were just crushing it for me. I loved it.
Yeah, so, right. And, it just seems like a really good opportunity. And I think we may need to revisit this, and maybe, hopefully, some of the people who check this video out try dumpling, and I would like to hear your experiences. What went well, what went wrong. If you're a creator, maybe make a video about it. Trust me, it's a platform that doesn't get a lot of there's a few videos here and there. I know Joe Gig had one a long time ago.
But they're dated. That's the thing. There's been a lot of changes to dumpling since the dumpling videos that have dropped.
Yeah, so I think getting some more up to date some ideas and some stuff that's coming, I think it'd be a really, really good, because it counterbalances the stuff that we talk about all the time on these channels, no tip, no trip. Well, you have to worry about that with dumpling. And, the apps are not working right now. There's a problem with support. They're telling me to go this many miles. All those things are taken away. The only challenge is you are in charge of this business. You are the primary responsible for getting clients. That's for me, right? That's the only challenge I can see from this.
Another perk, you guys, kind of like Ship, but you can do it with anything that allows these type of things that you're going to go off with. But let's just stick with groceries because that's what we've been talking about. Is you get all the points on every shop. Yep, you use your card, you get all the points.
Nice, very nice.
Which, I mean, for me these days is gas. That's I have a King Supers is owned by Kroger. I do all my shopping at a King Supers. So any shops I were to do there, I would get the points on all the sales. I would get, by the time you hit $1,000, you're getting 60 cents off a gallon.
Dude, we don't have that here. We don't have any gas points here.
Oh,
I wish we did.
Well, most states do. Well, most states have some systems with grocery stores.
Yeah, something like that. Other than that, Steve, I think for the first of the Beyond the Gigs edition, I think it had been pretty successful. What do you think?
We had the CEO of Dumpling on. He was here for an hour, dude.
I tell you, before
and he barely let Hannibal and I chime in. We're normally the ones to over chime, and he was just rolling.
It was a good setup in the beginning because at first when he first joined in, he thought we were live, and I was like, no, we're not. He kind of breathed a sigh of relief, but he was doing great even before that. But yeah. So I think it's Steve told me to schedule, even though it was my idea.
So
he got me. Go ahead.
So every 2 weeks, but on Tuesdays. So think of it as tomorrow, and then every 2 weeks from that.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing out a lot of different ways of being an independent contractor. So we're not necessarily going to be focusing on the apps that you guys already know. It's going to be opportunities where it may not be an app. It may be a website. It may be going to Indeed.com. It may be going to ZipRecruiter. There's independent contractor gigs on Indeed.com right now. If you just type in that, just type in courier. There's opportunities there where most people, 95%, are not looking. They are turning on the app and hoping for the best. We want to bring other opportunities for you guys. So, this is
which isn't to say stop using the apps.
That's what
keep
using
using them until you have enough business
and still run the app. So it's like no one is saying that you have to you're stuck in one thing
and steal their customers.
Well, the CEO did not say that.
Yeah. This is not a Joel endorsed move, guys. So.
Yeah, Joel Sparrow did not endorse this
at all.
Hey, once you've swiped delivery complete, you're on your own time.
Right. Just buy a stapler and have your business card.
But yeah, other than that, Jonathan, I think the next edition that's going to be coming out, we're going to focus on the medical courier apps. Hopefully we'll get a guest to come in and talk about that more in detail. But if not, I think we have enough time to research it and verify all the websites and all the stuff. So it's going to be another really fun.
If that guest doesn't fully play out, we can maybe get you guys, I've had him on 3 times, but we can maybe get the CEO of Curry.
Right. Yeah. So we got a lot of plans. A lot of people.
We just want you guys exposed, man. Yeah. We want you to know that keep working these apps, but we all know the pay's going down. Things are changing. And when a new app launches, it pays better, but it's not going to be forever. So make sure that you're starting to at least think about this. And even if right now you're like, I don't want to do this, just keep it in the back of your head,
There's a really, really important question that we need to answer before we leave. So she follows Savvy on the right, Hannibal on the left. Who's this guy in the middle? Who are you, guy in the middle?
I don't know. I'm Joel's sidekick. Rideshare Rodeo. You can find me at Rideshare Rodeo.
Podcaster.
People get a little confused because it's Rideshare Rodeo. I'm not just Rideshare at all. I got UberLiftDrivers.com. I got a website that's dedicated to gig workers. I got audio podcasts. Everything.
You're a YouTuber. You got 1,000 subs. Congratulations.
Thank
you. So you're all over the place. When do you have a day off?
I don't ever have a day off. I have time off.
Fair enough.
I take time off to do things.
I put the wrong link. I put the search results. I'm sorry. Don't click that one because that's just gonna that one. Follow Steve. He's a great follow. He got the podcast going. I know Fridays he does the TNR radio. That's like a live simulcast situation. And then Sundays he spends 5 hours talking about
nothing.
What were you guys talking about Sunday? Was it about zombies or some kind of undead creatures?
That was truth. She came on for a little bit in the beginning.
The Lucifer statue in Denver.
Okay.
So Lucifer, yeah.
You get a lot of that as well. They said Sunday
is totally different. If you look at my channel, look at all the other stuff, but Sunday it's not. Don't look at it. It's just don't count on it to ever be the same.
Also on Saturdays, right? 13 gig minute gig news in 13 minutes. So, awesome. So thank you, Holly, for coming through. I know you're working.
You're welcome.
Just always
congrats Holly on your subscription boom too.
Thanks.
I don't know if you know Hannibal. She just went up from when we saw her at the gig conference. She was at 54. She's at like 500 now because of a few videos she dropped.
Holly's amazing.
I just happened like in days though. She like boom.
Yeah, she's funny. She's talking about her dog. That doesn't howl, which I don't believe, but apparently she has a special little guy that doesn't howl. because I'm taking care of a beagle. And I know he's gonna howl his ass off next week. It's gonna be a pain in the neck.
And so
hound dogs.
just so people know about Holly too, like when I left.
Oh, here we go.
No. When I left the gig conference, I found an envelope to me from Holly. She left me like the nicest card ever. Just
She's sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully
awesome.
she'd be at the next one.
Right.
You thought I was going to say something else, but I said something
I
nice.
wasn't sure where you were
Was
going
soda
with that. I'm like,
related. Let's throw him off the roof. Anyway, all right, guys. On that note, we'll see you guys. Oh yeah, tomorrow I will be talking to Sin City Deliveries, talking about the Top Dasher movement. I'm sure that's going to be a very spicy live stream.
What time?
At 9 p.m. Eastern, I think. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. I got it set up on the channel. Richard's a cool guy. I know a lot of the stuff of the back and forths had nothing to do with him. Super cool. Very confident about what he thinks is working with DoorDash, but super respectful. I have him and his partner Ron. Super cool. So this is more of a formal invite because the last time he was on the channel, he popped in and we just had a good conversation. So this will be more of a formal, I would call it interview, but conversation with him and his origins, why he started doing what he's doing. So should be a lot of fun. So
just prior to this, I was doing a thing with Yost Malone, and I actually said nice things about Richard. I said he's a very smart guy, smart guy. But maybe people don't agree with what he's doing. I'm not even saying I do or whatever, but he's a smart guy. Because we were talking about we were going to talk about a bunch of things, but we only talked about, has the algorithm been cracked, Yost and I, for 50 minutes. And so if you guys didn't watch it live, go back and watch it because
check that out because it'll be another
cool.
That'll help go right into the conversation tomorrow because Richard thinks that he has. So we're gonna bring more of that, talking about the UDM videos as well. So it's gonna be a lot to discuss. And I really appreciate you guys for coming through. On the way out, please hit like. We need to spread this video. If you have the ability to share, please share this video. I think Joel dropped a lot of great information about dumpling. Steve
even
loves
share it
dumpling.
on other social.
Share everything, and I'll try to put all of the social media
Twitter,
stuff,
Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
Share it wherever you can.
I already shared it on Facebook.
Yeah,
Awesome.
wherever you can.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
Hannibal, for having us.
Good night.
All right, good night.